In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your fuel pump assembly on your Mini Cooper. It's located under the rear seat. Using a 10mm socket, we're going to remove our negative battery terminal by loosening up this nut. Remove it and make sure it's not touching anything metal. For this one, I would put a rag down on here so that in case it slips back, it's not going to connect it. The fuel pump is under the back seat. We're going to have to take that out in order to get to it. There's going to be two plastic covers showing where after you take out the back seat. To remove the back seat, you're just going to pull up on the front, and then you're going to yank it in different directions to unpop it from these. So let's do that. And now at this point, we're just going to pull on either corner and unhook the plastic child restraint safety things. Once you get those two out, the other two should come out pretty easily. And now you can remove your seat. So here we are. Here's the cover for the fuel pump. We're going to use a 10mm socket, and we're going to remove these nuts. Make sure you're not using any battery-operated tools. You don't want any sparks or anything with fuel. So I'm going to use my air-powered ratchet instead. And you're just going to remove all of these nuts. Set these aside. Make sure that you have some sort of absorbent pads or rags or something and a drip pan next to you. If this doesn't come off, you're going to need a pry bar and peel it up. And just work your way around. And put that off to the side. And here we are. Here's our fuel pump. So now we're going to remove this connection. We're going to unlock it. So just put a flathead screwdriver in here and twist, and that should unlock it. And now we're going to unplug it. At this point, after you unplug it, it's a good idea to check for power if you're replacing your fuel pump. Due to it not working, you want to make sure it actually is the fuel pump and not just maybe a bad wire. So disconnect that, then you can test your connection here if you need to. Just going to tuck this over here. So after you unplug this, the next step is to remove this ring. We're going to use a brass punch and a hammer, and we're just going to knock it to the left and unscrew it. This system has high pressure fuel, so when it comes time to disconnecting the line, you want to make sure you put a rag over the line before disconnecting. So here we are with my brass punch and a hammer, and we're just going to give it a tap and try to unscrew it. If you have a lot of debris on top, you're going to want to clean that up before doing this, by the way. You don't want that getting in the tank, and that's the reason. So you're just going to keep doing this until it's unscrewed. And then it should come out. You can already smell some fuel. And it may pop up because sometimes there's a spring that holds the fuel pump in, or it's spring loaded. Now I'm going to unscrew this the rest of the way and set that aside. Now we're going to just pry up on this. It's always a good idea to get some rags ready and safety goggles. And we're going to pull this out until we can see the line and the connector that we have to disconnect. So here's our connector. And we're going to squeeze these two ears and disconnect that. And also, there should be a fuel line that we're going to look for. There it is. This right here. It's brown and black. Now that we've disconnected this connector, we're going to reach down in here and pull on this. We're going to pull the line out from this holder. It's not easy to get in there. So unsnap it from that. And now you're going to access this black piece of the line. Again, make sure you have a drip pan next to you. And some rags, so when you disconnect the line, and if there's any gas spillage or spray, you can at least be ready. Push in on these two black buttons, one here and one on the other side, and then pull it apart. Make sure you put a rag over everything, so if it sprays, it doesn't get you. Release it slowly. You're going to feel some fuel come out. And now we're going to disconnect the line, like that. Now we can take the fuel pump out. Once those two things are disconnected, you can pull the fuel pump out. Just push aside your connector and your fuel line. You're going to take this gasket out also, and just put it up on the lip of the fuel pump. Get that gray thing out of the way, gray line out of the way. You're going to have to maneuver it around a little bit to get it out. Try to drain it in the tank as you take it out. And your float is going to be in the back there. And now we're draining it. Once that's drained, you can pull it out. Let's put our gasket on. Make sure that the lip, the bigger lip, is on the top, meeting the surface. So you're going to slide it over. And push it up. Once you have that gasket in place, we're going to put the fuel pump in the tank. Let's put our fuel pump in. The float goes towards you or towards the driver's seat. So aim towards that. Make sure your lines and everything are pushed forward for install, meaning towards the back of the trunk, and then lower it down. Once you get in there, you're going to get your lines out of the way and back on top. You're going to see your grade line, and that you're going to put into there's a plastic bracket on top near the brown wire. So you're going to slide that in. There is one ridge on this gray line, and that goes in between the two pinch points. So this is what I mean. This is the way the ridge goes in between these two plastic brackets. Make sure it's lined up and just push it in a little bit more so it's right in the middle. Now we're going to lower this down, and we're going to find our orange, brown, whatever you want to call it. Got to reach in there and get it that the line connects to. First, we're going to push the line together so that it's connected. Line it up and snap it in. It should click like that. And now this orange thing with this pull tab, make sure the line stays connected. So you want to make sure you put the line back in it. And the black piece that you pushed in on goes where that fat side is. So just snap it into place like that. And now we just have our connector. So I'm going to reach down and get our connector. And the other side is over here. Follow those wires if you can't find it. They should be green and black. And you can plug it in. It only goes one way. So line it up and push them together. You should also hear a click there. After you get it around the top of the fuel pump, you're going to seat it into the tank itself against the other gasket on top of the tank. Just make sure it's sitting flat all the way around. You can add some silicone paste to the plastic piece around here to help aid putting it in. And then you're going to press down. Make sure your float is where it belongs, towards you. And this tab is where it belongs, matched with that. Push down. Push down, hold it there, get your ring. Once you have that pushed into place, You're going to put your ring on top, hold some pressure on the fuel pump, line things up. It's going to just fall into place. And then start turning the ring. Keep tightening it until it stops. I'm going to use my brass punch again. You can use different parts of the ring. And go until it doesn't go anymore. Now that we're done with our ring, we're going to plug our connector in. So just line it up. Make sure that's pulled all the way out. And push it on. And lock it into place. Now we're going to put our cap on. So make sure you line it up. The two slots are towards the front of the car. Make sure the curve is going accordingly. And now you can get these nuts started. Now we're going to tighten these down. Once those are tight, you can remove all your things and we'll put the back seat back in. Now let's put our back seat in. Just going to place it here for now. Get it over the seat belt. You gotta hook it under those seats, the backings. Pull those out, make sure things are lining up. You're gonna push in until it pops into place. You're gonna feel it and do the same to the other two. Now that you have all four in, you're gonna push down on either side of the seat and make sure it's pressed in. You may have to just sit like that. Do the same on the other one. Now you can connect your negative battery terminal, put your seats back, and you're gonna sit in the car and you're gonna turn your key on and then shut it off and make sure you hear that fuel pump kick on, and do that a couple times. And then you can start the vehicle. Make sure you check for leaks, make sure it runs right, and you should be good to go. Now we're gonna connect our negative battery terminal. Make sure that's pressed on good. Have a good hold on it and tighten it down. Snug it up and make sure it doesn't move.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.